Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Thursday as CPI numbers came out with inflation at 7.9%, and then Bitcoin rejected 41,950. Everyone's talking about that, but what people aren't talking about is what happened yesterday when Bitcoin broke out to the upside and tested 41,950. Well, guess what? We saw Luna, Terra, and altcoin we've been talking about here on the Snipers channel form new all-time highs. Why is this important? Not just for Luna, but for the overall market. This isn't something that you see in a bear market. And so this is an extremely important video as everything that we've been talking about here on the Snipers channel has come exactly as predicted. The #1 cryptocurrency channel on the internet. Not a surprise for those tuned into the channel. We've also been taking many long trades on Luna for quite some time. And so look at this, altcoins dominance in a bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. This is the last puzzle piece that we need for the cryptocurrency market to see upside. And sorry, I had somebody come into the background there. It's about to pour outside, and so I didn't want to come outside, but I guess it might pour on us, so this is going to be a quick update. So understand this right now. We saw Luna form new all-time highs with Bitcoin's move to the upside yesterday. Why is this important? Well, for the thesis that we're still in a bear market, we want to see altcoins forming new all-time highs as much as possible, because as Bitcoin dominance comes down, the likelihood that we'll start to see altcoins move to the upside becomes higher, and that shows confidence in the market where altcoins aren't hedging in Bitcoin in fear. And that right there is exactly why Bitcoin dominance should come down as Bitcoin's price comes up. But right now we're kind of in a weird phase where Bitcoin's testing 44% dominance, potentially in a descending triangle, which is bullish, and Bitcoin's US dollar price in an ascending triangle, which is also bullish. Depending on how you draw it, some people can actually show it as a symmetrical triangle. And then check this out, every time Bitcoin has been in a symmetrical triangle forming higher lows in the past, we've actually broke out to the upside. So I really like this chart because it shows that we actually have a little bit of time to go, like I talked about yesterday, before we approach the apex of the symmetrical triangle. So we have until the end of this month, and as long as you break out before 70% of the apex of any sort of market structure, that's totally fine. So we don't want to see it elongate too far beyond April, but it's really interesting to see what's happening to Bitcoin. So let's dive into the charts and talk about what to expect here with this rejection of 41,950. Not a surprise. What's most important though is that we are in a better position now than we were in before this rejection, because look at what's happening to today's daily candle. We are fully attached to the 50-day moving average, unlike the 4 days prior to the rejection. And so that right there tells me that Bitcoin still has the potential of fulfilling this market structure to break out to the upside. As I already mentioned in the past, we've seen Bitcoin twice already break out when forming these type of higher lows and symmetrical triangles. And so that right there, just this breakout above 44,800 can bring Bitcoin back into price discovery. So right now, what we have to realize is the most important support, not a surprise, is 38,000. And as long as we stay above 38,000, things are still very bullish for Bitcoin. Now here's the other puzzle piece that we have to monitor. Number one is 38,000 is the major support. But number two is if the S&P 500 doesn't breach its recent consolidation lows, which it hasn't yet, and tomorrow's Friday, so we'll see the week ending session, and then markets will close, then we'll enter the most manipulated time for the crypto market, which is the weekend. But as long as S&P 500 tomorrow in the next 24 hours does not breach its recent consolidation lows, I believe there's no reason for Bitcoin to break down. Because why would it breach its recent consolidation lows if the S&P 500 hasn't? And it's been stronger than the S&P 500 through January, February, and March now. And so with that on the table, what we have to realize is that right now we're potentially seeing a garden variety market reaction to a very strong upside move that we saw yesterday. One thing to note is the Ethereum to US dollar price is actually fully below the 50-day moving average right now with its daily candle. And that has to do with the fact that it did test a very key level with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart dipping below 65,000 Satoshis today, but we're back above it. So we could say that there is a reversal case to make here where we hold 65,000 Satoshis because we've held it in the past. And so why is this important? Because this is going to lead the other altcoins. And we're already seeing Luna, Terra form new all-time highs. So why can't we put this back on the table, that the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart could hold 65,000 Satoshis, continue to see upside, leading the other altcoins, and then pushing Bitcoin dominance down again, and then allowing Bitcoin to US dollar price to break to the upside as we see fear come away from the market, and then we allow Bitcoin to continue its swift ride up. So I think that these are all things to mention. I do want to quickly cover on-chain analytics. We have a lot of USDT leaving exchanges, but we also have Bitcoin leaving exchanges, which is good. We still have some Ethereum coming onto exchanges. I think we're seeing a lot of that Ethereum go into Bitcoin during some of these volatile moves. I think it justifies where a lot of the volume is coming from. But other than that, what I do want to mention is what's very important to watch right now is Bitcoin dominance potentially breaching below this weekly open, and it's sitting right at 43.3%. If we breach below this weekly open, then that is actually a very bullish puzzle piece, because that says that we could see altcoins move up, fears leaving the market, and things are looking a lot better. But here's another case that I want to just put on the table. We know that the Bitcoin dominance chart in 2017-18 was very correlated to the DXY, and that was not the case for this bull market in 2020, 2021, 2022. But what if now Bitcoin dominance correlates with gold? Because guess what's also holding its weekly open so far? Gold. And so if Bitcoin holds its weekly open with the Bitcoin dominance chart, then I want to start looking at the potential case that Bitcoin dominance is becoming correlated with gold. And that would actually make sense fundamentally, because why would Bitcoin dominance come up when there's fear in the market? It acts as a hedge in anticipation of downside or sideways price action in the overall market, knowing that Bitcoin will see less of that. And then gold is the same thing with equity markets. It acts as a hedge. And so there could be a slight correlation there. We want to monitor that. Another thing we want to monitor is the gold to Bitcoin chart. This is how we predicted that upside push yesterday. We said that if gold is trying to break into price discovery, it would only make sense for Bitcoin to also move up, because the gold to Bitcoin ratio was at a very important resistance. And just keep this in mind. What's very important is to know that right around this 0.063 level is where the 2017 all-time high was for this chart. And I really do not expect this chart to ever go beyond that level again. It would not make sense. So this right now, we are expecting a rejection. We want to see that rejection if we are in the mindset that Bitcoin is a better storage of value than gold. It's 1/10 of the market cap, and so it has a lot more room to go to the upside. And by the way, that chart is in a very bearish macro trend, as it has been for years and years and years. And so there's no point for that to see upside, but it is approaching a major resistance, which means that right now, when it comes to gold to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is probably the better play, as it's not overpriced in comparison to gold. US oil calming down. Here's what I really like about the revolving part snipers that I want to mention, is that yes, we saw the Euro 100 and the S&P 500 maintain itself yesterday. The Euro 100 actually, just with yesterday's daily candle, was up 4%. And then we were waiting for Japan and China, and guess what? We saw today. We got Japan and China, a little bit of a lag, but Japan and China look like they've bottomed out for the most part, with China forming this bottoming candle. That's very good, because if we can at least get some upside here with traditional markets and some more green days, that's all we're going to need for Bitcoin to move up. And then the most important thing, I'm going to actually just cover it last, is the DXY. It looks like it's rejecting 99.132, at least for the immediate short to medium term, where if we do see this sideways calmness at this area, holding this support, that right there is actually a very positive thing for the overall market to see some upside. And with that DXY calming down, it could certainly allow for some upside in the markets without, for the DXY seeing these exuberant rallies. That's what really hurts these markets. And so very interesting time. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below, snipers. I appreciate each and every one of you tuned in the channel. I'm surprised it hasn't started raining. You can hear the thunder. I'm going to get back inside so that I can avoid that. But thank you all for tuning into the channel today. Oh, I'm going to have to go through with my key card. So anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Couldn't do this without you. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content. And until next time, snipers out.